about the saga of King Hrolf Kraki. More specifically, the tale of how Bodvar made Hott hot. So Bodvar goes to Hleidergard, and when he got there, he just kind of throws his horse in this barn without asking anybody, which is cool. So then he went to the entrance of the big drinking hall, and he goes in, and there's only a few guys in there. And so he heard this super weird noise in the back corner, and it's kind of like a so then he goes to check it out. And he looked in the corner and saw that there was this pile of bones. So there's this little hand sticking out of the pile of bones. And he's like, that's weird, what's that doing? And so he walks over and he grabs the hand and he pulls it, and this little impy guy comes out. And he's like, who are you? And the little impy guy's like, I'm Hott. You just blew my cover. And Bodvar is like, what do you mean? And Hott is like, now I have nowhere to hide, and these guys over there are throwing bones at me, and now I'm gonna be really hurt. So then Bodvar was like, bro, you don't need to build a bone wall. I got you. You're my bro now. I'm gonna take care of you. And so Hott's still kind of scared, he's like, can I trust this man? So then Bodvar's like, come here, let me learn you a thing or two. So Bodvar takes Hott to this lake, and he washes him because he's really dirty. He's got bone juice on him. And so then he's washing him, and it's kind of sensual but not. And then he takes him back to the hall, and he's like, here, come here, take a sip. And Hott's not really into it. He's still scared. But then Bodvar's like, no, trust me, I got you. So then a bunch of King Kraki, we'll just call him King Kraki, King Kraki's men are like, yo, who is this man that thinks he can just sit on the bench with us? So they're throwing bones at Hott and Bodvar now. And so Hott's getting scared because he's like, I don't want them to throw bones at us. It hurts. And so one of these guys goes and he throws this big ass bone. And Hott's like, oh my God, look out, that's a big ass bone. That's gonna hurt. And then Bodvar's like, hold my beer. And he grabs it and catches it in midair, and he throws this big thick ass bone back at the guy and kills him. And then all of Kraki's men are like, oh shit. And this is a paid program brought to you by Precipitate.
Enjoy the show.
Precipice. So then King Kraki comes back, and he's like, did this dude just die for no reason? And his men are like, yeah. And Kraki's like, that's not cool. You guys are being petty. You're throwing bones and shit. You're giving me a bad rep, making me look bad, making you look bad. It's just not Gucci all around. So just stop. And so then he's like, who killed him? This man's gotta be pretty strong if he killed a man by throwing a bone. So they're they bring Bodvar, and Bodvar's like, sup? And Kraki's like, who the hell are you? And Bodvar's like, I'm Bodvar. And then Kraki is... Hrolf is like, well, I mean, you seem like a cool dude. Like, do you want to be my guy? And then Bodvar is like, nah, like, I'm good. You know, I don't want to be separated from Hott because he's my bro. So Hrolf is like, whatever, like, that's cool. You guys, you know, do your thing. And so Bodvar and Hott go and they sit at the table with these other guys. And, you know, the guys are just like, ew, like, you can't sit with us. But, you know, Bodvar's like that bitch. And so they're not gonna, like, protest. So they just, like, get up and move. So, you know, everybody's drinking. It's like a couple hours in. They're having a good time. And then all of a sudden, it's like the mood just changes. And everybody gets, like, really solemn and, like, gloomy. And Bodvar is like, what's going on? And then there's, like, this screech outside. And he's like, what was that? And Hott's like, that's the Grendel. And Bodvar's like, what's a Grendel? And then Hott gets all serious. So then Hott is like, that's the Grendel. The creature has wings on its back and it usually flies. For 2 autumns now, it's come here, causing damage. No weapons can bite into it, and the king's champions, even the greatest among them, don't return home. It's not an animal, it's the greatest, most terrible of trolls. So then Bodvar is like, bet, I'ma kill it. So then Bodvar leaves the hall and he's like dragging Hott with him. And the whole time Hott is like, I don't want to go now, you know, just being a little wuss. But Bodvar is like, no, you're coming, and like throws him over his shoulder and carries him. And so they're like walking through the woods, walking through the road, and don't laugh at
It's powerful.
So then they're walking and they see the creature, and Hott is immediately like screams like a little girl. He's like, ah! And so then Bodvar's like, hush, and he throws Hott into a bush. And so then like they're hiding from the creature, and then Bodvar like jumps out and he like goes to draw his sword and it doesn't come out. And so then he's like, fuck. So then he draws his sword again and it still doesn't come out. He draws his sword the 3rd time and it comes out. You know what I'm saying? So then he's like, cha! And he stabs the beast in the armpit and it dies. And so then, like, he's like, Hott, come here. And then, so Hott's like getting up out of the bush and he walks over and Bodvar is like, here, like, drink its blood. And Hott's just like, what? And Bodvar's just like, no, like, trust me, like, drink the blood. So then Hott takes 2 drinks of the blood. And then Bodvar's like, okay, now eat its heart. And Hott's like, no. And so then, like, they struggle for a while, and like Bodvar's trying to get him to eat the heart. He doesn't want to eat the heart, but then eventually Bodvar force feeds Hott this like troll heart. And so after that, Bodvar is like, you are now like insanely strong, like you're super strong, and you are not allowed to be afraid of Kraki or his men anymore. And then Hott is like, you're right, like I'm not afraid of them, and I'm not afraid of you. And then Bodvar is like, he looks into the distance, like all, like mysterious and stuff. And he's like, my work here is done.